In this video, we are going to take a detailed look at all of the Peak Design packing tools that come along with the Peak Design travel backpack and the greater ecosystem that goes on with that pack. We had a bit of a poll going on with the full review of the Peak Design travel backpack on whether or not folks would want a breakdown of all the packing tools. That got a lot of thumbs up and a lot of requests, so we're excited to bring that video to you. I'm Tom, the founder of Pack Hacker, and we love helping people optimize their travel experience with guides and reviews just like this one. So if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Let's jump right in because there is a ton to cover. Before we dive into every single component, I want to take a little bit of time to talk about the overall system that Peak Design has designed here. First of all, there is a numerical system going on here, and Peak Design calls this packing units. The vertical space of the travel backpack fits about 3 packing units tall. So to break this down, small basically means 1 packing unit, medium means 2 packing units, and large means 3 packing units. Right now, the large camera cube is the only one that takes up all 3 of these spaces and basically turns your travel backpack into a full camera backpack. We're gonna get into those details in a second. There's also plenty of room outside of the main leader compartment in the front compartment of the Peak Design travel backpack, especially if you use that expandability feature, you can fit a lot more inside. The tech in the wash pouch can get a little bit tighter in that front compartment. However, just remember that that partition is also completely removable and stowable as well. So you can just unzip that, turn your bag into one giant compartment if you want to stack a lot of these things on top of one another. When I personally tested the travel backpack, I was able to fit 1 medium-sized packing cube towards the bottom. The small packing cube that wasn't quite full, I kind of shoved that into the side, and then both the wash pouch and the tech pouch quite nicely. In addition to that, a small Joby tripod as well. Everything was in the main compartment, and I had extra space in that secondary compartment for additional organization. All right, let's kick it right off with the tech pouch. This thing does a great job overall at keeping all your tech gear organized. Ton of pockets and compartmentalization going on inside of this thing. Excited to jump into it. First of all, this is available in 2 different colors. Black with Hypalon accents and sage with nubuck leather accents. Folks that are vegan may want to opt for the black since it uses no animal product. There is 1 weather-resistant number 8 zoom zipper that is the main access of this thing, and that just unzips and opens right up. One thing that we wish it had was 2 different zipper pulls on the singular zipper coil so that you could partially open this thing like from the middle or something like that and just get quicker access to it. Instead, if you want to open this up, start at the bottom, go all the way open, and there you go. Now it's opened right up. Also, it's 200D nylon canvas, polyurethane coated, and DWR coated on each side. So definitely a lot of weather resistance consideration going on with this little pouch. When you open this thing up, you are greeted with a ton of different pockets and compartments in Peak Design's classic origami style. When packing this thing, you kind of want to make sure that you have items of similar widths on each side going on here so that it closes nice and easily. If you have items that are too thick on this side, for instance, it's going to be a little bit harder to close. So just get that system right for you and organize all your gear inside of it as you see fit. The middle area here offers some ample space and then a zippered compartment that's good for holding 3 SD cards as well as other smaller items. And then we've got a bunch of different partitions towards the middle to help organize your items. Then on each side of those, we have a larger compartment that fits a Kindle Voyage pretty much perfectly. On each of the outsides, we have 3 additional stretchy pockets as well for additional organization. Ton of options for organization here. Right above those, we have these elastic loops that can be used for pens, tighter wound cords, pencils, stylus. We even have some mini chopsticks going on here that I personally love to travel with. Plus, there are some exterior handles that make for a good quick grab. However, I usually just palm this thing and grab it, not using the handles. There's an exterior zippered pocket that fits an iPhone 8 Plus, along with a case pretty snugly. And there's a pass-through port for a charging cable as well. So if you have a USB cable, you have a battery bank inside, you can kind of pass that through, keep it organized, and keep your phone right there and easy to access. And the last thing that makes this little pouch so great are the anchor attachment points that are available on the outside. You can attach any of Peak Design's additional accessories here, including a strap, so you can wear this thing as a little messenger, which is great. When in use, it's a little bit bulkier than other slings we've tested, say the Air Day Sling or the Heimplanet Transit Line sling. However, it works in a pinch, and it also pulls double duty as a cube inside of your larger bag, so we will take that versatility any day. When actually using this pouch, the organization options are some of the best out there. It's really smartly thought through and great overall. One thing to note here is the size and the rigidity of this thing. So it doesn't really compress down that much due to the thicker fabric on the outside. It kind of keeps its shape. So if you have a lot of tech gear to carry and you can really fill this thing out, it's going to be a great option for you. However, if you're going to have this only about half full, it is not the ideal pouch for you. Next up, the wash pouch. All the materials here are the same that we see with the tech pouch. However, there's an aluminum hook on the back here that can be used in the bathroom to hang this thing up on like a towel rack or something like that. And then also there is a siliconized mesh going on the inside that's gonna help compartmentalize it. So let's check it out. On the exterior, we've got a bit of a larger handle going on the outside here. I found this a little bit easier to grab. On the tech pouch, they're a little bit thinner, kind of hard to fish your hands in there. However, with this one, the wash pouch, the handle's a lot bigger and easier to grab. Near the edge of the zipper, there are nylon loops as well that you can kind of grab onto as you're unzipping this thing. Before we get into the main compartment, let's talk about this little side pocket right here. So I've personally been storing my toothbrush and toothpaste inside of here. However, this is intended for a razor. Your mileage may vary. I'm using a Quip, which is a little bit longer. So I kind of just like to put it on the outside here. Plus I brush my teeth a lot, so it's just right there and I have access to it anytime. For a quick pro tip, try to find toothpaste as close to 3 ounces as possible. Those little travel size ones that you can travel with are often a little bit too small, and you're better off just buying a bigger one. It's a better value and you'll just have more toothpaste with you. Also, if you have a larger tube, you can pick up like a little Nalgene container or a Go tube and just toss extra toothpaste in there. Great way to store it so you don't have to continuously buy a bunch of those little tiny tubes that don't last very long, especially if you're on a longer trip. All right, opposite that zippered compartment, there is that little area for the aluminum hook. So you can easily pull that out. It's hideable, which is pretty great. Then you can just hang it up when you are using this in the bathroom. It's great to have this as an option. However, I found it a little bit precarious in actual usage. So when it's hanging up, I have had things fall out of here before. It's definitely tight. Starting in the middle, there is a magnetized compartment. Again, this is intended for toothbrush. However, I found it great to fit smaller items inside of here that you don't want just floating around in the main areas of this little pouch. Also, the lining easily flips out for quick and easy cleaning, which is a nice little touch. Again, Peak Design is just thinking through all of these things, which I really appreciate. With that middle divider, one side has 2 siliconized mesh pockets and the other has a zippered pocket with an additional 2 siliconized mesh pockets inside. Moving on to each side, there is ample space going on. So on one side, we're able to fit 4 TSA approved 3.4 ounce Go tubes. The opposite side is similar. However, on this side, we have 3 siliconized mesh pockets. In actual usage, all the organization is pleasing to use and very slick. My advice here is pretty much the same. If you have a lot of toiletries and you're gonna fill this thing up, definitely go ahead and grab it, as it's gonna be some of the best organization that's available out there. If you generally carry less stuff or wanna offer something a little bit more flexible and malleable in your pack, you can definitely get away with a smaller pouch. Sometimes I pair down my toiletries and they can fit into a smaller DACA pouch, and that works perfectly for me. Plus the material they're made out of works well with water in the bathroom as well. Not gonna get soaked kind of easily. Water just runs right off of it. So your mileage may vary. I definitely like to kind of minimize my toiletries as much as possible. Like, I'm weird like that. I just like doing that kind of stuff, which is why I have this YouTube channel. But you could definitely, if you can get away with smaller, it is good. But if you have a lot to carry, this offers some really slick and amazing organization. Some of the best that I've seen to date. Moving on to the packing cubes, there are a lot of things going on here that we haven't seen in a lot of other cubes on the market. The main fabric on the outside is a 70D nylon and polyester blend. There are actually YKK zippers on this thing and not Zoom zippers. I'm not sure why that decision has been made. If you know why, please let us know in the comments, or maybe Peak Design can come over here and let us know. And then there are Hypalon pull tabs on these zippers and the quick tear area that I'm gonna show you in a second. A little refresher on the sizing, this goes along with their packing unit system. So this medium size here takes up 2 units and the smaller size takes up 1 unit. And depending on how full you have these things, you can kind of stack them on top of each other as well. So you could probably fit, 2 mediums on the inside. If it's packed a little bit slimmer like this, they also expand. And then kind of like use them in sort of a tiered system inside of your bag if you just want to carry a ton of clothes for whatever reason. One rad and innovative thing going on with these cubes is the way that you can access them. So there are 2 Hypalon pull tabs here. You can just boom, rip it open. There you go. You have quick access to all your stuff. It's really satisfying to do that. Opposite of that big clamshell opening is a separate compartment here to hold your dirty clothes. So when your clothes get dirty, stuff them in the backside and that's great, totally works. These cubes are also compressible. In actual usage, this is really useful because you can fill this thing up and then compress your clothing down quite easily. On a couple occasions, I've had the stretchy mesh part get caught on the compression zipper. So you can unzip and zip this thing up really fast, the main compartment. However, the compression feature you have to be a little bit more delicate with. Not really that big of a deal, just something to note to make sure that it doesn't get caught and kind of eat away at that mesh. Another nice little touch is the small piece of nylon webbing you can grab onto as you're zipping the compression portion of the cube. There are small grab handles on the outside of this thing, which is always a nice touch. From a sizing perspective, this can totally work. However, I love on other packing cube lines, especially like Eagle Creek Spectre cubes, which are very similar to these because they are lightweight. They offer a bunch of different sizes. So one that's about half of this size, one that's maybe like a third of this size, and you get a bunch of different sizes that you can kind of play with. So just something to note there. These will work in any types of luggage. They're just kind of optimized for the Peak Design Travel Line backpack. Of course, you can use other cubes inside of the Peak Design Travel Line backpack as well. There's a ton more information on packing cubes on our website as well, so be sure to go check that out. All right, these camera cubes come in 3 different sizes. There is a small, medium, and a large. And again, this corresponds to the packing units that you can fit inside of the Peak Design travel backpack. However, we're just gonna be taking a look at this small one. This is the one we've been using the most. The other ones kind of follow suit, and I'll go over a couple of unique features that the medium and the large have as well. The materials used here are pretty much the same as the wash pouch and the tech pouch. You have that rigid, more padded material going on here as well, which is great to protect camera gear. Also, just to note, the main zippers here are YKK number 8 zippers. Starting with the exterior, there are 2 grab handles on the sides here, and each one of them have eyelets, and you can attach the anchor system to that as well. So if you want to wear this thing like a little messenger, a little kind of sling, you could also wear that. Nice to store your camera gear in here. Again, integrated with the pack. Pull it out when you get to your destination, and then boom, you've got a little tiny day pack that you can kind of keep with you. Usage in sling mode is a little bit bulky. However, it is a win in our book due to the versatility available to you. Also, there are these nylon loops that can be used to integrate the camera cube directly with the Peak Design travel backpack via these C-clips. This is an excellent little detail, plus you can fold this opening all the way over, so when you have it attached within the travel backpack, it's easy enough to access your gear from the side access pocket. Lastly, there are small little loops on the corners of each of these areas as well. Inside, we've got our 2 main shooters here. So one is the A6500, which you're seeing right now. That's what we use to shoot all of our video. Additionally, we have a Canon G7X that we use for quick little B-roll shots, run and gun footage, as well as some photography outside. The smaller cube comes with a total of 3 adjustable inserts. The first 2 are Peak Design signature style origami shelves that you can use to divide this as you see fit. The third is a small mesh pouch that either Velcros to one of the shelves or the side of the camera cube itself. The versatility of this system is great, and you can really customize everything to your liking. The medium and large sizes offer very similar organization on the interior. There are 2 additional dividers, a small and a large divider that can be used in the medium and larger sizes. If you get a medium or a large, you can do a bunch of different combinations to try to get your gear to fit. One tip is that you want to put your gear in one at a time, kind of put one of those dividers flush against your gear, and then you can kind of start to form it around your gear. Before you start organizing, just make sure you know where the access points are on the cube, whether it's the top, whether it's the side access. Depends on how you want to use it, but there's no use in Velcroing everything in before you decide how you want to be able to access your gear. The size you choose will basically depend on how much camera gear that you want to take with you. Just note again that that larger size will basically take up the entirety of your bag, pretty much turning it into exclusively a camera bag with just a little bit of room at the top for additional items. With that medium cube, you can load that up with all your camera gear, and if you are a minimalist, maybe you can have 1 or 2 of these smaller packing cubes, and then you've got all of your clothing in there as well. So again, love the versatility here. Love that you can load this thing out as you see fit. Next up, we're gonna move right on to the Rainfly. The outside is primarily a 70D siliconized ripstop nylon. Then at the bottom, we have a 200D siliconized nylon, which is gonna be a little bit more robust as you're setting your pack down. There are Hypalon attachment points, as well as a number 5 YKK zipper to hold this thing in its own pouch. Peak Design claims this is waterproof. However, we'd rather say that it's highly weather resistant. When you put this thing on, you can't toss it into a pool or a river. Definitely water is gonna get inside of there if you fully submerge this thing. However, it makes your pack highly weather resistant. With that being said, the Peak Design travel backpack already has a ton of weatherproofness going on in the backpack itself. This just adds an additional layer if you're gonna be out in the rain for a long time. Just helps cover any of those access points where these zippers are as well. When this thing is not in use, it seamlessly integrates with your pack, which is great. This is really smart positioning. Just take those Hypalon loops, strap it to the bag, and then you can just fold it up and stow it in that magnetic pocket when not in use. When it comes time to use it and deploy it, just pull it out of that magnetic pocket, keep it attached, unzip, unstuff it, and then boom, really quickly you have a Rainfly over the entirety of your backpack. So again, a lot of smart thinking going on. Wanted to bring up the Rainfly because of that smart thinking. Just love what's going on here. Lastly, we're gonna be taking a look at the self-compressing shoe pouch. For the main opening, there is a weather-resistant number 5 zoom zipper going on. They're using the same material here that they're using on the packing cube. However, one interesting thing to note here is that it's just one piece of fabric wrapped around with a zipper attached to it, which is pretty cool. You could say that it's seamless. Do you get it? Because seamless, there's no seams. This thing can fit about 2 pairs of shoes and easily compress into itself when it's not holding anything for stowing away in your bag. There are 2 nylon loops on each side of this thing as well, which they recommend connecting the anchor system to if you'd like, or attaching it to other items. You know, if you want like a little small duffel bag, maybe it's just a nice little size for the gym, or if you just really love carrying your shoes around for some weird reason, like that's fine too. Additionally, at the top, you can use those C-clips that we looked at with the camera cubes to integrate this with the pack as well. So again, these will fit 2 pairs of shoes really well. I just have 1 pair in here right now. There's a lot of excess fabric going on. Would be nice if there was a way to kind of compress it down and get rid of some of that excess fabric. However, again, we're not designers, we just use this thing. Definitely would love a little bit less excess fabric. Think it could improve it even more. Overall, we love the Peak Design travel backpack and all the accessories that go along with it. And everything works really seamlessly with one another, especially inside of the Peak Design travel backpack. If you don't have that bag, that's really no problem. A lot of these items are good as standalone pieces as well for usage in other pieces of luggage or bags. Thanks for taking a look at all of Peak Design's packing tools with us. We'll see you in the next video. Hypalon Ascents. Compartment that basically fits horizontal position on the other. Vertical position.